Hello and Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Terali Dumro, Professor of Abdul Latif University, Khartoum, and in today's class I will be discussing with you about the exploratory research design, or you can say the qualitative research. There are two approaches to research, and these are very broad approaches to research: the qualitative research and the quantitative research. Now look at these two pictures. From this picture, there are two heads in the minds. When someone is talking about the quantitative research, what is in the mind of a person, then it means the person is talking about the research is of the objective nature, is the deduction based. The research will be used for the generalization purpose, and the data collected for this purpose is in numbers. And in contrast, the qualitative research, here the researcher is doing the research, and the type of research is subjective in nature, say induction or inductive, reasoning based, not generalizable. You cannot generalize on the basis of the qualitative research because a limited number of the respondents are used to gather the insights or information. And the data collected for the qualitative research purpose is in the words of the pictures. Just suppose, see this. If someone asks two people, they are giving the marks to a little doll, I can give 9.5 out of 10 for her looks, 9 out of 10 for her choice of dress, and 10 out of 10 for her dressing sense. So quantitative nature because it's purely objective. We are giving the exact marks, 9.5 out of 10. We can compare different marks. And another is just suppose saying she looks beautiful, her dress is awesome, and she dresses very well. There you can see the remarks are in the words. It's very difficult to determine how much beautiful. If suppose you are comparing 2, 3 beautifuls, then it's very difficult to give the mark. So the qualitative analysis is purely subjective in nature. So what is the qualitative research? The definition of the qualitative research is a type of scientific research that seeks to answer to a question, systematically uses a set of procedures to answer the question, collects the evidence, produces findings that were not determined in advance, produces findings that are applicable beyond the immediate boundaries of the study. So the qualitative research is purely is a type of the scientific research which we use to seek the answers of the different questions, and by applying the systematic methods. Like this one, you can see the qualitative research involves finding out what people think and how they feel, or at any rate, what they say, they think, and how they say they feel. We are interested to know about their feelings, their emotions, and others. This kind of information is subjective. It involves feelings and impressions rather than numbers. So the qualitative methods are used to gain more in-depth information that may be difficult to convey quantitatively. We use this kind of the research because other types of the research, they are unable to collect the required information. So to better understand any phenomena about which little is yet known, or knowledge, or to complete the incomplete knowledge, to gain new perspectives on things about which much is already known. Another characteristics of the the features of the qualitative research is are it starts with the general question or problem. No predefined hypothesis used in the qualitative research because we don't have the theories most of the times in it, already established theories. So that's why it's very difficult to develop the hypothesis. It uses a purposeful sample, not a random sample. So very small and very selective sample. It's not the random sampling, not based on the random sampling. It uses a relatively small sample, not more than 20, 30 in cases, not 7, 8 in some cases. The data collected with semi-structured and unstructured instruments. The data we collect for this purpose is through the unstructured questionnaires or questions or the instrument. Instrument means the tools or techniques we use for the data collection purpose. Suppose questionnaires, even the recordings, video recordings is also the visual information, provides the visual information. So presents results descriptively, describes the results, utilizes researchers' awareness of own orientations, biases, experiences that might affect data collection and interpretation. Here the researchers' awareness, orientation, biasness, experience might play a major part in the data collection. Now look at this picture, and I hope that most of you are aware, you can easily understand that picture belongs to which movie. This is the picture of the movie. The name is written in the Bollywood movies, The Slumdog Millionaire, released in 2008, very famous. So Anil Kapoor and other, I don't know the name. The person, the qualitative research is like peeling onions. When you just remove the layers of the onions, one by one you find out another layer until you finish the onion. So qualitative versus the quantitative. Typically the qualitative research will provide in-depth information. In fewer cases, whereas quantitative procedures will allow for more breadth of information across a larger number of cases. Now, benefits of combining qualitative and quantitative procedures resulting in a greater methodological mixes that strengthen the research design. Nowadays, researchers are focusing that if this person or the researcher is using both the qualitative and the quantitative for writing the research paper or any thesis, they have more weight as compared to the others, and they find place in the well-known or famous journals for publications. Suppose I have the ability to quantify the unquantifiable, though we have the ability, nowadays the techniques have been developed to quantify the qualitative data. But suppose this one is saying that I have the ability to quantify the unquantifiable. That is why they call me Dogbert, the quantifier, or the quantifier. Who calls you that? 8 people. So here this is the quantitative. This is qualitative. Quantitative versus qualitative. The quantitative This one is the quantitative and this one is the qualitative. Quantitative thoughts are the thought of is objective. Their quantitative is objective nature. The qualitative is the subjective nature. The thought is subject. Quantitative research questions include how many and strength of the association. The qualitative research questions include what, how, and why. It tests the theory, the quantitative tests the theory, the qualitative develops the theory. It measures, it is measurable, it is interpretative. Researcher is separate from the process because quantitative data can be collected or gathered through other various sources. You can ask someone, you can send by email the questionnaire or the questions to someone, but in the qualitative case, the researcher is part of the process. The quantitative strives for the generalization. Efforts of the quantitative research is to generalize the findings, usually generalized. It leads to the prediction, helps to predict. The strives for uniqueness leads to the understanding. The qualitative is striving for the uniqueness, different, new information. Basic elements of analysis is numbers. In the quantitative, we use the numbers. Here we use the words in the qualitative. The context-free, it's context-free, quantitative is the context-free. And in the qualitative, we have the depth-dependent or the context-dependent research. In what context we are asking must be, we are very much aware about the context. Here you do not need any context. Count the beans. It means there in the quantitative we count the things or the numbers. Here we decide which beans to count. So the qualitative versus the quantitative research, the qualitative, the quantitative, the objective. The objective of the qualitative research is to gain a qualitative understanding of the underlying reasons and motivations, and the quantitative research to quantify the data and generalize the results from the sample to the population of interest. Sample, small number of non-representative cases used in the qualitative. In the quantitative, the large number of the representative cases used. The data collected in the qualitative method, unstructured data collection procedures. The structured method is used. Already written questions are the questionnaires used in the quantitative. Data collected, data analysis in the qualitative, non-statistical techniques used for the qualitative research and statistical techniques used for the various statistical techniques used for the data analysis purpose. And the outcome of the qualitative research, it develops an initial understanding to start another research or to start the full-scale research. It recommends a final course of action. The rationale for using qualitative research: people may be unwilling or unable to answer certain questions. Have you recently purchased drugs for nervous tensions? Pills for anxiety? People may be unable to provide accurate answers to questions that tap their subconscious level, values, emotions, drives, motivations. Example, suppose person may have, if you are asking some person that why you have purchased this car, it's very difficult for a person to answer because the person may have purchased an expensive sport car to overcome feelings of inferiority. So the classification of the qualitative research procedures, the qualitative research procedures involve direct, non-disguised, which include the focus groups and in-depth interviews, and the non-direct, indirect or the disguised technique, which include the projective techniques, association technique, completion technique, construction technique, expressive techniques. So in this lecture, I will be focusing on the non-disguised method. Means here the respondent is aware that the questions or the person is observed or the question asked for some purpose. Here in indirect method, the respondents, they are not aware. So we discuss focus on the focus groups or the non-disguised. One of the important factor through which we collect the non-disguised information is the focus group discussion. It is a carefully planned discussion designed to obtain perceptions on a desired defined area of interest in a permissive, non-threatening environment. You can see these cartoons. Discussion is relaxed, comfortable, and often enjoyable for participants as they share their ideas and perceptions. Group members influence each other by responding to ideas and comments in the discussion. Group discussion is a carefully planned discussion where the 6 to 10, 12 people are invited to participate in a discussion which is very, with their permission, we invite them. It's very non-threatening. It takes place in a very non-threatening environment. So very relaxed discussions, comfortable. And due to this comfortable environment, the people share their ideas or perceptions. Because if you ask a person directly or individually, the person might not answer you the proper, give you the proper information. But if you have 6, 7 people having the same background, if you are asking one person about an issue, then the person respond. After the response of a person, the other people are also willing to share their views because it encourages them to participate. So this is the benefit of the focus group discussion. The characteristics of the focus groups: the size should be from 8 to 12 or 6 to 12 in some cases. Group composition: the participant must be homogeneous in nature. The respondents must be pre-screened before starting the group discussion. Someone must screen the participants or respondents that whether they are suitable for the discussion or not, having the background information or not. The physical setting of the group discussion must be relaxed, informal atmosphere. Shouldn't be the formal atmosphere, so relaxed. Should not look like the office atmosphere. The time duration of the focus groups mostly from 1 hour to 3 hours. The recording use of auto cassettes or other modern techniques, but with the prior permission of the participants. You can only record if they allow you to record. If they are not allowing you, then you can record. Then you can just simply take the notes. Moderator: observational, interpersonal, and communication skills of the moderator are very important. Moderator is a person who just run the discussion, like capital talk discussions, where 6, 7 people they participate into a discussion about any issue, and one anchor person moderate the discussions. Participants, what should be the features of the participants? It's better to select the people who are unfamiliar with each other. Preferably, it's better to have the strangers selected. We select them because they have certain characteristics in common that relate to the topic of the focus group, like their age, gender, occupation, marital status, and similar attitudes. What should be the qualifications of the focus group discussion? No need to have the high class or high degrees, but the moderator, the person who run the proceedings of the group discussion must possess these features. The person must possess the kindness and firmness. The moderator must possess these qualities so as to generate the necessary interaction. Must have the permissiveness. The moderator must be permissive, yet alert to signs that the group cordiality or purpose is disintegrating. A person must be very just frank, or allow the people to just create an environment where people are feel encouraged to participate, but does not allow the discussion to distract. Involvement, another quality of the moderator is the involvement. The moderator must encourage and stimulate intense personal involvement. Incomplete understanding. The moderator must encourage the respondents to be more specific about the generalized comments by exhibiting incomplete understanding. Moderator must be involved in the discussion, and incomplete understanding, the moderator must encourage the respondent. If they are giving incomplete information, then it is the responsibility of the moderator to encourage them to give the complete information, because sometimes people give some sweeping statements and give some just half information. So it's the responsibility of the moderator to get the complete information by encouraging the respondents to share more. Another qualification of the moderator is that the person must be of the encouraging nature. The moderator must encourage the unresponsive members to participate. Must be flexible. The moderator must be able to improvise and alert the planned outline amid the distractions of the group process. So must be sensitive, must possess the sensitivity. The moderator must be sensitive enough to guide the group discussion at an intellectual as well as emotional level. So it's the quality of the good moderator to take the discussions so that intellectual and emotional level, so that the required information can be collected. The proceedings or the procedure for planning it and conducting the focus group. These are the steps. Suppose determine the objectives and define the problem. Before starting the focus group, the moderator needs to determine what are the objectives of conducting this focus group and what is the problem about which the person or the information is required. Specify the objectives of qualitative research. State the objectives of questions to be answered by the focus groups. Means need to state the objectives or the questions which the moderator is willing to the respondents to answer. To write a screening questionnaire. The moderator needs to write the screening questionnaire before finally selecting the respondents as the participant of the group. Develop a moderator's outline. What questions or what should be the plan of the discussion. The moderator must have some sort of the written hints or points so that the person can run the focus group discussions accordingly. Conduct the focus group interview. Then the step is to conduct the focus group interview or discussion. Then review tabs and analyze the data. If recorded, then it's the responsibility of the moderator is to review, or the researcher is to review the discussion and analyze the findings and plan follow-up research action. Now, another technique which we use in the focus in the qualitative research is, and the non-disguised direct technique is the in-depth interview. The in-depth interview is a formal interview or process in which a well-trained interviewer asks a subject a set of semi-structured questions in a face-to-face setting, like the TV programs where one-on-one, one person is the host or the anchor, and any other person, any celebrity or any politician. Those the one-on-one questions we call this in-depth interview. So in-depth interview, an in-depth interview is a conversation with a purpose, a conversation between researcher and informant, means the person whom we are gathering the information, focusing on the informant's perception of self, life, and experience, and expressed in his or her own words. The researcher's purpose is to focus on the informant's self, perceptions of self, life, and experiences. It is the means by which the researcher can gain access to and subsequently understand the private interpretations of social reality that individuals hold. So the laddering is the technique we use in the in-depth interviews. It is a technique used in in-depth interviews in an attempt to discover how product attributes are associated with desired customer values. Suppose the term laddering comes from, this example is related to the marketing research. So it's not necessary that always we use that we are concerned with the attributes of the markets. We may be concerned with the attributes of the employees, attributes of the organizations, or any other. So the term laddering comes from the notion that the researcher is trying to establish the linkages or steps leading from product attributes to values. By this map, this map I have taken from one of the PhD students, Dr. Sanjay's PhD seminars, where he has shown that map of cell phone category, where self-image, self-expression, individuality, personalized, and then just suppose color, software, then feelings of security, then belonging, and then these subsections. Like the questions we ask, suppose, what features do you like the most in Domino's? Suppose we are asking about a person who is the user of the Domino's. What does the feature of attributes do? Feature or attribute do? What is important about that feature? What is in what way it benefits you? What does the benefit do for you? Personally, why is that benefit so important? How frequent you visit this place? How many years you are visiting Domino's? Why opted for Domino's? Will the person accompanying with you will have impact on choosing Domino's? Will you switch to another restaurant if the same taste and ambience is provided? Have you tested similar products outside Domino's? So similar types of the questions are asked to give the in-depth information or knowledge. So then again continue the discussion of the laddering. In laddering, the line of questioning proceeds from product characteristics to user characteristics. Initially, we asked about the product characteristics, the questions related with the product features or characteristics. Suppose in this example, this technique allows the researcher to tap into the consumer's network of meanings. Wide body artifacts, suppose we are asking about the aeroplane's body, means product features or characteristics. I can get more work done. I accomplish more. It helps the person if the aeroplane's bodies are very wider. I feel good about myself is the user characteristic. These are the product characteristics, and through this we get the information about the user characteristics. And suppose advertising theme is there, that someone is asking the question just to have check the validity of the advertisement theme. You will feel good about yourself when flying our airline. You are the boss. This slogan there announces. Depth interview techniques, hidden issue questioning. In hidden issue questioning, the focus is not on socially shared values, but rather on personal sore spots, not on general lifestyles, but on deeply felt personal concerns, fantasies, work lives, and social lives, historic, elite, competitive activities. Just suppose the theme of the advertising, communicate aggressiveness, high status, competitive heritage of the airline. Symbolic analysis, another of the depth interview technique, attempts to analyze the symbolic meaning of the objects by comparing them with their opposites. The typical opposites of a product that are investigated are non-usage of the product, attributes of an imaginary non-product, and opposite types of products. What would it be like if you could no longer use airplanes? Without planes, I would have to rely on letters and long distances. Airlines sell to the managers face-to-face communications. So the theme is the airline will do the same thing for a manager as Federal Express does for a package. Suppose this is an example of the in-depth interview of the Marriott Hotel user. Marriott Hotel wants to understand how to deliver better services to business customers. And what are the specific factors you use in selecting Marriott overnight accommodation during your business trip to Karachi? So motive. When we are asking this question means we want to know about the motive of the trip, using of the hotel. What hotel services have you used during your stay? Behavior. Here we are interested to know about the behavior. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with those services? We want to know about the current feelings. How likely are you to stay at Marriott next time you are in Karachi for business, and why? Future intended behavior. Now, probing questions in the same kind of interview. Marriott is probing, the interviewer is probing. Interviewer, what hotel services you used during your stay? The subject, the respondent is suppose answering, I have used the front desk, restaurant and hotel's fitness center. Interviewer, with regard to the front desk, what were some of the actual services that you requested? Subject, Other respondent, person who stated, well, besides checking in, I inquired about the availability of fitness room and car rental. Interviewer, why were you interested in information about the hotel's fitness center and car rental service? Subject, when I am away on business, I enjoy a good workout to help relieve stress, build and I find myself energy level improves. Interview, while at hotel, how does renting a car fit into your plans? Subject, I have a business meeting tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. across town. Afterward, I plan to play a round of golf. Interviewer, which rental car company do you usually prefer to use when renting a car? Depending on the name. Questions continue. Interviewer, besides using the fitness center and renting a car, what other hotel services might you request during your stay? Subject, I will probably rent a movie tonight. Interviewer, renting a movie? Please elaborate on your interest in renting a movie. Subject, when away from home, I enjoy watching movies. Interviewer, are there any other services that you would consider using? Subject, no. Then end the interview. Like these are the family. These are related with the family, just like the probing. Chocolate, these are the probing. And the indirect or disguised techniques will be discussed in the coming class. So I hope you have enjoyed my lecture. If you have any question or query regarding my lecture, you can also email me on Ikhtiar, IKHTIAR dot Gumro, GHUMRO @salu.edu.pk. Salu means SALU.edu.pk. So all the letters used in that email remains small, so no capitalization. If you feel any difficulty or any question, you can ask me. So I will try my level best. I will try my level best to answer your questions, and do subscribe the channel for future videos. Thank you. Thank you very much for your patience and listening my lecture. Thanks.